ADHD symptoms can impact emotional awareness and regulation in several respects. People with ADHD often describe feeling either flooded with emotions or being kind of disconnected. Symptoms of inattention can make you unaware of your emotions, whereas symptoms of impulsivity can create an almost explosive expression of emotions. And this makes sense from a pathophysiology perspective because in ADHD, your brain is getting inconsistent bursts of neurotransmitters. When ADHD goes undiagnosed for a long time, there's often a major disconnect between your emotional state and your wants and needs. One professional told me that it was like I was living from the neck up, and that made a lot of sense to me. Finding balance between being aware of what nourishes and energizes you is crucial to achieving a more authentic emotional experience. ADHD symptoms can seriously get in the way of managing anger. Individuals with symptoms of impulsivity can be easily frustrated and explosive, describing big feelings or flooding. They're often quick to get over their reactions as well. Individuals with a predominantly inattentive symptoms describe an almost opposite effect, where they over-apologize and don't allow themselves to feel angry. They tend to carry these feelings, which often results in being hard on themselves, whether they realize it or not. If you find yourself saying something like, "I never get angry," you might want to explore whether you internalize these feelings and end up hurting yourself. This might even manifest in eating disorder or self-harm behaviors. Anger is an important and normal part of being human. Learning how to constructively express your anger instead of internalizing it is an important part of managing your emotions. Managing stress is challenging for everyone, and with undiagnosed or untreated ADHD in the picture, it's even more complicated. Individuals with ADHD are often calm during high-stress situations as their prefrontal cortex wakes up in situations of danger or urgency. This may explain why many high-stress jobs are a good fit for someone with ADHD. I thrived in the pediatric intensive care unit because everything was urgent, but daily stressors that aren't necessarily fires build over time and can be tough for individuals with ADHD. Many individuals struggle with managing day-to-day life without significant support from those around them. Something small, like having a place for your keys, is an example of an easy change that can have significant impacts on your headspace as you try to leave for work on time every morning. I literally used to have to call an Uber sometimes because I couldn't find my keys. Now I have a GPS chip for them. When ADHD goes undiagnosed or untreated for a long time, individuals often give up on the things that they love to do. Sometimes it's because it's such an effort to manage other responsibilities and priorities, and often it's related to struggles with organization and time management. But by walking away from things that are fun or stimulating for your brain, you can end up losing motivation for other things. Many individuals with ADHD describe being in a twilight zone where they feel numb. I know for me, my number one goal right now is actually finding calm and balance. Rediscovering something you used to love doing can be an impactful part of treatment. When it comes to ADHD, connecting with others can be a huge strength. Naturally passionate about people, many individuals with ADHD share themselves easily and in the moment. For others, this is a difficult area, especially if they don't have a clear understanding of who they are separate from their symptoms, or who they can be. It may be hard to gather your thoughts and figure out how to articulate yourself in a way that makes you feel good. Overall, it can be challenging to maintain healthy, connected relationships when mental health symptoms override kind and caring intentions. In addition, maintaining connections requires organization and time management strategies. I know for myself, I have to be careful about how eager I am to help others. It can get in the way of your own self-care. For example, helping somebody with their work but then neglecting your own, or giving time and attention to strangers instead of those closest to home. The symptoms associated with ADHD can get in the way of building self-awareness and ultimately positive and sustainable self-esteem. For children with ADHD, they're often labeled as bad or willful, and this can be damaging to building their confidence in their abilities. These feelings and this history can often carry on into adulthood. A huge benefit of identifying a diagnosis of ADHD is that it allows you to come to terms with your new self-identity. This naming can be really helpful in separating yourself from your ADHD symptoms. Remember, there's a difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. Many people with ADHD are confident and have big personalities and are seen as powerhouses. Yet when you get to know them, you realize that they're often masking feelings of low self-esteem and self-doubt. I know for me, years of struggling in school and being disorganized because of my executive dysfunction has really affected my self-esteem. But untangling my ADHD symptoms from my true self has really helped.